is the Legion of Doom headquarters, right? These are the
Legion of Doom headquarters.
Yeah, these are all the YouTube supervillains.
This is the suspected white supremacist headquarters. That's what it is.
We're officially here at the Legion of Doom headquarters. I'm being facetious, but there's a lot of, I guess, like anti-SJWs and people who have I
guess they label themselves anti-SJWs, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think anyone here is I would say like there's a majority of people who wouldn't be like I'm anti-SJW, but I know that like a lot of people just don't have those SJW views. Like anything that's overly extreme, like oh that person should be fired for saying this word that way or doing this that way. Like we're not about that. We're not about that. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
So. Like Lacey Green recently came out and said she wanted to talk with SJWs and anti-SJWs or whatever, and so that's kind of been the vernacular, I suppose.
Yeah.
But honestly, even talking with Sargon, I did an interview with him before, and he's like, I hate racism, and he's very adamantly. I'm like, you sound like a social justice activist.
Oh, because we all hate racism. We all hate the things that divide us. The things that divide us, like the things that like. That are like really you can feel that racism. Oh my god, it's a disgusting feeling. I feel it. I feel sick to my stomach when it's around, but it's not around. And this community is definitely not around. I don't have a moment where I've read one of Sargon's tweet and go like, oh, did they say that? Like, did he say that? That's fucked up. I don't have those moments.
So let's give a quick overview of like the recent shenanigans around you, so that people know who you are, and then we'll jump back into this talk. But there's this guy on Twitter who just calls everyone a suspected white supremacist or white supremacist. You want to just tell the story about what happened?
Yeah, sure. So this is a guy, his name is Tariq Nasheed. He's a major race baiter. Essentially what he does is he takes events that have happened, so like shootings of black people or just, like race-related events, and he capitalizes off them. He capitalizes off them with social capital, and of course people have also gone so far as to suggest that he's getting paid to kind of drive this agenda. But I don't know what agenda he's driving or why anyone would pay him, because he's so obviously an idiot. Like, it's so obvious that he doesn't understand what the fuck he's saying, or he's just, so backwards. And so essentially, the first time I had seen this guy, I was like, it was after the Cleveland shooter. And this was I don't know if you guys, the Facebook killer, the guy who went on live stream and shot a man point blank in the face. Like, it was really disgusting. And instead of tweeting out, guys, stay safe in your home, he says, stay safe at your homes. White supremacists might be out to get revenge. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? What are you doing? So I saw that and I was like, all right, well, this guy is retarded. Okay, it's fine. But I didn't react to that. But then I started seeing him call someone like Philip DeFranco a white supremacist, and I was like, all right, well, there's a problem here. Because this guy's clearly unstable, doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's calling Philip DeFranco a white supremacist. Like, come on.
But he's getting a ton of followers from doing this.
Is he getting a ton of followers?
He's got 160,000 or so, right?
Yeah, but he has been at 160,000 for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's his social blade look like?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he doesn't gain a lot of he gains a lot of followers, maybe because like people want to see what he's doing. One person that follows me who's been active a bit active in the whole libertarian like underground movement on the internet for a while, suggested that the FBI uses his account as a fucking honeypot for extremists. So,
for me, it gets a bit conspiratorial.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
that's totally conspiratorial. I'm not saying that's a fact, but it does kind of make sense. I mean, why is this loser who says all this hateful shit verified? Why is the Muslim Brotherhood on Twitter verified when they've actually like talked about killing gays and stuff like that? Like that's the kind of shit that's been going down, right?
Well, so you very clearly don't like this guy Tariq.
No, I don't. I don't like him at all.
But something happened that I saw these articles, people popping up saying that you got banned, you got suspended.
Yeah, I got suspended on Twitter. My account got suspended, and it was an account that I worked really hard on. It was almost at 24,000 followers, and I got those 24,000 followers by being me, by really just kind of like having this message of just wanting to chill with people. I tend to give I tend to give a bit of inspirational advice to people. Like, one of the things I told people like about a couple or 3 weeks before I got suspended was that it's really important that you don't fucking say anything to anybody, because you never know when their last moment on earth is going to be. It was a story that I had from when I was a kid. This fucking kid that was in my school for about a week, and I came into the school year like this. Okay, so let me just go backtrack a bit, completely, because I'm going on a tangent here. I'm going on a complete tangent here.
So,
Sorry.
but let's go right back to it.
Like, rein me in. Essentially, like, I'm all about like just inspiring people in a very authentic way. Like, I'm not like disingenuous about the things I say. I'm not going to go ahead and be like, oh, what can I say that's inspirational or motivational today?
You're saying you're trying to be real. You're trying to be real.
I'm trying very hard to be real. So like, if someone comes at me and asks me a question that I may find uncomfortable to answer, but I know that if I don't answer, I'm going to look disingenuous, I answer the question.
So let me ask you, what was their justification for you got suspended, right?
Yeah.
Suspended. What was their justification for that?
That I was harassing Tariq Nasheed, but the reality is that I don't really feel like I was harassing him. Yeah, I was tweeting at him a lot because he was responding to me.
So you were going back and forth.
Yeah, we were going back and forth. He could have blocked me at any time. If he had blocked me or muted me, it would have been done.
Did you use any slurs? Did you insult him? Did you call him any names?
I called him. I think I called him a hamster. I called him a weirdo. I called him like a dum dum. I called him like legit called him dum dum. I said that that he's powerless.
And so you're the one who got. Well, look, just earlier today, right? And for those of you watching, Talib Kweli, I'm just learning who this guy is. He's a famous rapper. He's got 1 million followers. Was tweeting about Antifa, and I have no idea who he is. I have no idea why somebody tagged me, and all I saw was someone tweet something about explosives, and he said, "Prove it." So I responded, "Yeah, there was explosives in Berkeley." And then all of a sudden, the floodgates open. He starts coming at me saying that, I'm supporting white supremacy. That I'm friends with Lacey Green. That proves it. Just for 3 hours, tweeting at me nonstop, calling me a Nazi sympathizer, saying I'm a white supremacist and things like that. This guy's got 1 million followers. His followers are tweeting at me. I don't see any repercussions for that kind of behavior, and it's not the first time.
Yeah.
So when I hear this from you, I'm like, man, I feel something personal because like this literally just happened to me today.
Yeah. And like some people have a hard time dealing with that. Like if it was someone else, man, they'd be fucking tripping. They'd probably private their account. They'd just like disconnect from the world.
The crazy thing is, this guy Tariq, I tweeted at him before, very positive things like, I feel you, man, like, love to talk with you about this, like, I definitely think we agree on a lot of these issues, and his response was, you're a white supremacist. So personally, like, my personal opinion is he's a troll. He's got to be trolling. This can't be real, can it?
I don't know. I just know that he's a fucking asshole.
You're really pissed about it.
I just think he's an asshole. I'm not really, listen, I'm not really pissed about... Like, look, the best thing he could have done was get me suspended. He got me suspended, and now people are talking about it. Well, now suddenly Bunty King is a name, and they're like, this guy is talking to this guy, and this guy gets a rise out of Tariq because he just has this ability to do it. This guy is like a really real dude. Like, he's not an asshole. Like, that's what people are saying now. They're like, they've known him my name. I've been the same. I've always been the same. Like, I'm toned it back a little bit in terms of like the way I interact with haters. Like, I don't call them cunts. I don't go overboard. I don't like say crazy things you want to say. Like, this one time I got locked out of my account. On my main account, I got locked out before I got suspended for 7 days because I told some guy who was being racist, who said I was gonna have trouble if they ever tightened immigration laws. I was like, fuck you, asshole. He was suggesting that I would get the boot from the country, a country that I'm born and raised in. And I told him, I called him, like, I said, whatever you just said was profoundly retarded, like, fuck off. And then he says, you're nothing, you're just a Twitter personality. I know that because I work really hard in real life, like for me, Twitter is an extension of real life, and I'm at a company in Montreal, and like we're involved in the community. Like for me, like there's more than just Twitter. It's like I'm trying to affect my community locally. I'm starting locally, and like really trying to like connect where I actually grew up, because that's
So this guy got you suspended somehow? Got you locked out?
This guy got me locked out because I followed because this is before I really started toning it back. I told him, I was like, because he's calling me just a Twitter personality, I said I'd buy the shirt off of your back and then use it to wipe my cum dripping out of your mother's pussy. And that got me locked, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty...
It's hardcore, huh?
Yeah.
That's the way I used to respond to trolls. But now I don't anymore. Now I don't do that. Now I either mute or I just like say, whatever, dude. Like,
so I'll say this, though. I mean, all right, it sounds like you're being honest, but you're going to admit to saying something like that and getting suspended. But I'm sure people are going to hear that you were saying stuff like that, and they're going to say, well, what was he really saying to Tariq? Right?
Yeah, no, but what I was really saying to Tariq, for real, look, I intentionally, because I knew that would be a bad thing. If I swore at Tariq or I did something like that, I knew I was really playing with fire. That's why I was super shocked when I got suspended, because I was like, I wasn't even fucking swearing at him.
And then people wrote about it.
I really was. I really was not being super aggressive. Like Lacey Green even said she saw the exchange. She was like, it just was like trolly. It was like he was just being trolly, but he was like, wasn't being crazy.
So I guess outside of this whole like conversation with you and this personal thing, like I feel like I've been involved in similar things with Tariq and now this guy Talib Kweli. But what about like the bigger picture of like social justice warriors that, like this group here, I've done some interviews with like Chris Ray Gun, who's been critical of them, Sargon Akkad, absolutely, and now we hear your story where you engage with this guy who calls everyone a white supremacist, and then you get locked out. Like, what do you think is really going on? What do you think is going to happen with this like weird culture that's been taken over?
I don't fucking know. I know that the only thing I can really do is like put up the good fight and really hope that like people start opening up their hearts and minds to like a room for dialogue. Like there's like these people that are in the house right now, at this party right now. They're not bad people. They're really good people.
Yeah, this is the Legion of Doom headquarters, right?
Yeah, Legion of Doom headquarters.
The VidCon supervillains.
Yeah, apparently we're supervillains, right? But we're not. Like, we're just like people that are just really interested in seeing things work out. Like we don't want people to be in we don't want people to be in gulags. We don't want people to be in chains. We just want people to be like profiting and being and getting what they earn. You know who Talib
Kweli is?
Yeah, he's a failed rapper.
He's a failed rapper. He's got 1 million followers.
Yeah, but he's like a rapper that was like a has-been.
Okay. All right. So maybe the real thing is that he's trolling me, but you know what I was like? You can look at my Twitter history. Like, you guys, you can look at my Twitter history. Everything I'm saying is like, hey man, I'm here to listen if you would like to talk. I literally said, I respect your opinion. I'm always down to listen if you're willing to talk.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like I will not say a word and you can just tell me whatever you want. And he told me to just, F off. He's like, then he tweeted something like, you're retweeting Lacey Green, you're busted. And I'm like, Lacey Green's a feminist, man.
Yeah, because Talib Kweli is I mean, if you read his tweets, like, there's not much in between his ears. Like, that's all I can really say. Like, he doesn't look like he's a very intelligent human being.
I guess, well, for me, look, I would never go so far as to deride, to say something like that about somebody. Whether or not...
That's great. Do you think he's an intelligent human being? The way he was responding to you?
I don't think...
You're saying you're very open about him and he's shutting you down? That's not the sign of intelligence, my friend.
But I wouldn't say intelligence, I would say that he's closed. Right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Because you bring up how we want to talk to people, and that's what I am all about.
I'm about that too.
I would
talk to
anybody.
If Tariq wanted to sit down and actually talk, and stop calling me a suspected white supremacist.
He called you that.
Yeah. Suspected white supremacist.
Are you Sikh? Is that?
Yeah,
I saw that article.
My parents, I'm culturally Sikh. Like, I was raised as a Sikh as a kid. Then I went to a Christian high school, and then I always had a struggle with my identity because I was bullied a lot. And I felt like because I was bullied, like I was like, oh well, I shouldn't be brown. I shouldn't be Sikh. I shouldn't be like this, right? So,
dude,
I kind of lost myself a bit, and then, once I started once Trump got elected, I was like, if Trump can get elected, and he was just like a loser, if he can get elected and he was like an asshole and was saying all sorts of things, then I'm like, and he was mean and saying really fucked up things, then I guess I can do whatever the fuck I want because I'm a good person. I don't even say like a fraction of what that guy says. So I can do. The sky's the limit for me. So that's when I started realizing that I could be myself. And when I realized I could be myself, I started looking inward and outward as well. So I started looking inward towards my culture. So then I reconnected a bit more with my Sikh background and started reading about it, especially in these times where in Europe where there's like a fucking terrorist incident like every week now, and it's getting really out of hand. And I think about Sikh culture and how it was born. It was born out of Islam occupation of India, northern India, I think about that and what they did, what the Muslims at the time did to Sikhs if they didn't convert, like torture and stuff like that. It was really fucked up things. Like Muslims had their own version of the Crusades in the East.
So. Going back a little bit to what you said about growing up and being bullied and stuff, that pisses me off. Like I get really angry when people are like, "You're a white supremacist, you're racist." I'm mixed race. I'm part Korean, and I certainly didn't grow up being bullied. I grew up on the south side of Chicago with a bunch of people you know, a Filipino friend, I had a Hispanic friend, I had some, you know, black friends, Polish immigrants, Italian. It just never came up. But there were some moments in, you know, when I was younger, like if someone threw a brick through the window of my family's van, like they defaced our house and things like that.
Yeah.
For me to like, when I hear that, I'm like, man, you probably had it worse than I did, you know. And then when I think that,
I wouldn't say I had it worse than you.
but for me to hear like you're getting bullied because you're brown,
Yeah.
that pisses me off. You know, it pisses me off even more to have then this guy come around and call you a white supremacist after what you've been through and what you experienced. That makes me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ugly. So I mean, that's the ugliest thing. Like I have been through that shit. I've been through a harder time than that guy probably has. My life is probably harder right now than his is, which is really annoying, you know.
So why would you say that is? Like, why do you think?
Well, because I don't have insane amounts of cash. I don't. Like, this guy lives in LA in probably an affluent neighborhood. Like, he's not like Tariq Nasheed is not poor.
Is that a fact? I mean, do you know that?
Pretty sure it's a reality. I mean, I don't know 100%. I'm gonna say that right now. I don't know, but I mean, the guy doesn't look like a poor person.
Yeah, he doesn't. I'll say this though, for me, you know, whether or not he is or isn't, I wouldn't say I know that he's had it better or worse than you, but simply that he's gonna call you a white supremacist and attack you is crossing the line.
I agree.
Especially for someone like you said, you've dealt with this stuff.
I agree.
And I feel for you on that.
I guess I do sound like pretty like aggressive and like all these guys aren't intelligent, they're fucking stupid. Like,
well, you sound mad.
Yeah. I guess it's just like, it's like, listen, like I'm mad not just for myself, but I'm mad for anybody else that comes their way that like would be open to dialogue, but they shut them down by just calling them white supremacist. I'm mad that they're throwing this word around that has so much meaning. Like white supremacy calling someone a white supremacist or a racist is a word that should not be devalued. Like those words should not be devalued. And in doing that, in like telling people that they're white supremacists when they're not white supremacists, they're devaluing the fucking word.
Yeah, because
there
are white supremacists.
Yes, and like, but then they can turn it on its head and be like, oh well, you know, you say nigga, like you're devaluing that word. Like yes, because it's got a negative connotation. Like it was used specifically to oppress people, but now they're turning the word racism, racist or white supremacist in a word to oppress people.
As like an insult, as like a way to attack your character.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be a word that you're like, holy shit, that person thinks that white people are superior to everyone, or that person hates X people based on stupid reasons.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the shit that's going on. Sorry if I sound a little bit like I'm not speaking as well because I'm like pretty drunk.
Well, so I mean, look, this is a VidCon party at the Legion of Doom headquarters. I keep saying Legion of Doom headquarters because like I think it's funny that, you know, the group of people here. It's not that they're really villains. It's not like you guys are actually villains, but it's like a joke, right?
No, we're like the nice or like super nice people.
I mean, yeah, you know. I will say this though, some of the people they make snarky mean videos. It's true. Now I've talked to them about it and they go yeah you know.
Yeah, because you know there's a degree of separation. Like I try to live without the degree of separation. I try to. Like I definitely think that I approached Tariq and Talib and Sean King, because I tagged all three of them in the initial confrontation in a very aggressive way. Like I approached them very aggressively. And in retrospect, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Maybe set it off, you know.
But I've seen people. But even though I did approach them aggressively, it was very clear that I'm about unity. I'm about not worrying about what your ethnic background is, just wanting to find the people based on their ideologies and their character and bring them together. That's all I care about, right? And even then, after that, they call me a suspected white supremacist. Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, that's really weird. That's weird.
Even when I agree with them, and I'm like, I agree with you, they still attack me. But you know, man, I think you should get back to the Legion party and get your beer. So, but I appreciate you sitting down, talking with me. This was great.
It's my pleasure, man.
Do you have any are you on YouTube or are you on Twitter?
Yeah, Bunty King on YouTube and Mr. Bunty King alt on Twitter because
alt. Yeah. Right on, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so thank you guys for hanging out. I'm here at VidCon, and this is a really awesome opportunity to meet with a bunch of different people here on the ground. I've got some plans for. Look, I did some interviews with like Chris Reagan, Sargon, who are considered the antis. But I have set up some. I'm setting up some interviews with some more mainstream personalities, as in journalism and things like that. So hopefully this comes to fruition. Stay tuned. New videos every day at 4 p.m. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Click the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you all tomorrow.